welcome back to another episode of Hot.mess.knits knitting podcast. Well, crafty podcast, really. I'm your host, Shayna, and today I have a co-host, my youngest son, Zane. Your hair is crazy. He just had his kindergarten celebration today at school, and they were allowed the option to go home with the parents after their little show. So that's what we did, right? So today, I mean, it's been a while since I talked to you guys last. I've been crafting like crazy. Are you showing them your Pokemon cards? Cool. Alright. And so, I wanted to make sure I got in an episode before we go on vacation. Before we go on vacation to Wisconsin, which is in less than 2 weeks now. Or roughly 2 weeks. A little bit. We're either going to leave on the 4th of July or a day or two after that. It's still up in the air on specifically when we're leaving, but in that general time frame we're headed out. And so I don't know when the next time is going to be that I will podcast. Summertime, it's kind of crazy because kids are home. Sometimes we have extra kids from sleepovers or watching and whatnot. So I'm hoping to get at least one other episode out during the summer. Maybe I'll figure out a method that works that I can get all that done. But needless to say, let's start with our FOs. Sorry, FOs, finished objects. I was on a kick with doing some sewing. So I did, no, I'm not done that one yet, kiddo. This is 100 axis sewing pattern, dress number 1. And this is just a pair of shorts that I stuck in the pocket. So this is a really cool herringbone type fabric. Oh, Carol's gonna spill my coffee. And that was in a size medium. And I noticed I did have like almost a little too much fabric. I need to find like an in-between. And then this one, which I had to improvise a little bit with this box fabric because I bought this on Etsy through a really adorable shop in Tokyo, Japan. And they measure in meters, and I mean, no, I had enough yardage. I just didn't pay attention to the width of it, so it wasn't quite wide enough. And so I had leftover fabric that I ended up kind of piecing it together like a puzzle and to make it big enough to fit me. And that's even, this is with a size small even. So I did the same thing on both sides, adding the extra panel to make it the right size, and then use that same color fabric for the pockets. I love, love, love this fabric. It is adorable. But yeah, the size small fits me a little better than the medium. But I think I need to go like right in between those two sizes, and I think I'll have a perfect fit. So those, I spent a couple days sewing on. Oh, careful, you don't want to drop the stitches, kiddo. And next on my sewing projects is going to be making some knitting bags, or project bags. I have this really, really adorable, which I don't know why I didn't grab it, polar bear fabric. It has pictures of polar bears on it with little lemons, and it's super, super cute. Oh, I'm not onto that yet, kiddo. Can't wait. He's so eager to help. So those are the two knitting or sewing projects that I finished, and then I think it was, yeah, the last episode I talked about the conifer hat cap that I was starting to work on. And I finished that. I think it was maybe within the following week from that episode that I finished this. And I didn't gauge swatch for it, so I'm thinking my gauge was off a little bit, or I just went too far because I ended up running out of yarn to decrease properly. So I ended up attaching another yarn, which doesn't match. Hey. Don't be poking holes in it.
It's not holes. It's doing that.
That doesn't quite, I mean, you guys can see this little blob of darker color. but you know, it'll be on my head. I thought about adding a pom-pom anyway to this, so it'll be covered, so I don't care. But you know, I guess that could be considered a hot mess. You do what you can. But the cabling is beautiful. The Connecticut Cap pattern is by Allison Griffith. It came in my Knit Picks subscription box, if I can talk today. And the Muse Yarn also came in it. It's Knit Picks. Show the paper crane.
I have to do it closer.
I used the Muse Yarn. It was the Muse Tonal in the colorway Passionate. And it fits great. I have my hair up in a bun, so I can't exactly show you guys model it. But another time. But it's beautiful. I love it. And then I was on the kick with the Muse Yarn. No, it's not that big. The other Muse Yarn that came in, I used, I think it was just 2 skeins of Muse Yarn. It wasn't the tonal. This was, I guess you could consider it variegated. They don't refer to it as variegated. But it is Vitalize, Muse Yarn Vitalize. Hey, I'm not ready for that yet.
I'm ready for this.
No, just wait a minute. And this was also a pattern that came in the Knit Picks box. The L Train Cowl by Joyce Fassbender, also found on Knit Picks website. And this thing is so squishy. I love it. Yeah, we're going to show you your sock in a minute. Goofy. So exciting. So, I mean, yeah, we're getting right into summer weather here now, but wanted something that was easy to take to work with me and work on it, or just something that wasn't overtaking my lap. But I can't wait to wear this when it definitely starts cooling off again. Not that I'm in a rush for it, but that's another one done. But it's a beautiful pattern. I like the texture of it. It's really cool. You want to talk? Here, I'll let you show one of them. Okay, just hold on. We're not onto the whips yet. We're still showing
Which one? Which one?
finished objects. This one. You want to help with that one? Last time I was talking to you guys, I was showing processing some Babydoll Fleece, and that is what I had spun, plied, washed, and set. Can you hold it close? Yeah. So it's just a little mini skein, just a little sample to see how it would work up. And it was easy enough to spin. And it feels soft enough. And this was actually on my drop spindle, which I haven't used it in so long that I know I could have done a better job, but it was just something light and easy and portable for me to play around with. But it turned out great. Alright, do you want to show this other one? Alright, so the last finished object I have is an adorable, what is it?
A shark.
Well, what is the shark?
A bow tie.
A shark bow tie that he wore today for his kindergarten celebration. He had a nice outfit on, and then he gets home and he's usually wants the clothes off and just hanging out in his shorts around the house. But this, I just saw pictures from Googling crocheted shark bow ties, and I just kind of winged it, did my own thing. I mean, I've done bow ties before, so I just kind of guessed.
Fine sock.
I guessed on how I would, you know, construct it and whatnot. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but I was in a serious time crunch. I think I finished it yesterday or day before. So I just wanted to make sure that it was done in time. And I had these doll eyes, or I don't know what you would call them. Plush eyes? I don't know. So anyways, it did turn out super cute. Is that your shark?
No.
You guys, this episode's gonna be a legit hot mess from
It's a
mini hot mess. Oh, but it's so much fun. It makes it entertaining, so that's okay. It won't be a habitual thing. Just, you know, summertime vacation fun. But anyway, that's all I have for finished objects. And since we have one sock flying in the air, we will move on to our whips. So what do you have on your hand? What do you have on your hand? What is it?
Sock.
And whose sock is it?
Mine.
So we have one sock done. And
The other one's right there.
yep, and the other ones are on the needles. Barely started. I have like 3 rows on the cuff. I'm using what I had left over from my hazelnut socks. It was Malabrigo sock yarn in Poisson or Poisson. I still have not figured out which way to pronounce that, but either way, you all know what I'm talking about. I ended up using a pattern called Socks for Little Wizards by Ann Kingston, and it is written really well. I don't have enough yarn for what it called for, so I just opted to make the leg part, the cuff, or the leg part shorter, which works nice because I wasn't sure how he would like it, how far up on his leg he'd like it. He has issues with socks. He's got, like, it'll fit his foot fine, but the leg part, if it's a higher sock, it ends up being too tight on him and it bothers his calves or his leg. And so I thought that if I kept it a little shorter, maybe that'd be more comfortable for him. So this is sock number 1. And it's got the heel flap and gusset, which right now is my preference for heels, and which I'm just going to experiment with more different kind of heels just to see if maybe I like another one better. But the pattern is a 3x2 rib, and then I didn't decrease as far down as the pattern called. So I went with more of a rounded toe, just because he's got wide feet like his daddy, and so I figured this might be more comfortable to make it a little more rounded, rather than come to more of a, you know, sharper point. But he loves them. He's tried them on already. I actually posted on Instagram, and he can't wait for the other sock to be done to actually wear them. What do you think of the sock? Do you like your sock? He's gonna be all shy guy on here. And then, let's see, what other whip? It's supposed to go over there, goofy boy. I still am working on that crocheted blanket. Nope, we're gonna do the blanket that you're sitting on. I have 4 skeins left. I think 2 gold, 2 burgundy left of this blanket to go, and then it'll be done. Which I want to try to get, which I'll probably work on it today because it's actually a little cooler out today than it has been the last couple days. Hey, not yet. I'm showing the watermelon. Okay, put it down. And I know it's going to get real hot soon, and I'm not going to be working with the blanket on my lap. There's no way. So on these cooler days, I'm trying to like knock this out. I might have to stand up for this. So, like, this is down, this is touching the floor, and I am 5'2", so it's gotten pretty big.
It's too light out.
So 4 more skeins should be good to go on that one. Hey, it's not the Zane show.
Next, this one.
It's a knitting show. All right. And then my last whip I have is, you're not going to guess what it is from this, but this is a start of a Kangaroo Pocket. I think that's what they called it in the pattern.
That's cool.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
I decided I was going to cast on a sweater, and originally my thought was I want to spin enough yarn to dye myself and make into a sweater, which I still totally plan on doing. However, Rhinebeck, I feel like, is already right around the corner. And I don't know how long it's going to take me to actually process the wool I need. Hey, stop please. I don't know how much time it's going to take for me to process the wool, spin it. Dyeing doesn't take that long. And then the time to knit a sweater. And then, you know, you never know if you're going to run into any issues or we have to frog back or something happens. So I decided I'm going to look at my yarn stash and pick a sweater that works with it and go ahead and start a sweater. And if I end up finishing processing my wool sooner than I figure, then I'll still go ahead and cast on a sweater with that, you know, with the actual wool yarn that I did myself. But I don't want to like overpressure myself and not enjoy the process of making the knit or the sweater. So anyway, the sweater I chose is called the Brecon Sweater by Kate or Katie Oates. I'm assuming Kate Oates. I've been eyeing this up for a while now. It's been on my favorites on Ravelry. I don't have colored printers, so I'm sorry, but I mean, still, even I love you too, buddy. It's a gorgeous sweater. It looks comfy. I like that it's kind of hoodie style without the hood. We still have the nice pocket. I love the striping and the little bit of color work at that top in the yoke area. It gives the option to just make it more basic and for that area to continue with just the stripes. I am going to make it how it's pictured because I love just kind of practicing the color work and all that good stuff. So that's what I started on, was the pocket. That was first in the pattern. As far as the yarn goes, it looks like it's a little see-through almost.
There's a little
but it's
watermelon on there.
I think gauge. Yeah, because I checked my gauge.
Little watermelon.
Although I might recheck it again.
It's a little watermelon.
Yeah. You want to show the watermelon stitch marker?
There's a little watermelon right there.
Yeah. It's very cute. But I mean, it could be just the type of yarn I'm using too. I don't really have sweater quantity yarn in my stash because I tend to impulse buy and buy one, maybe two at most of the same color skein. This, however, I have quite a bit of. And that is a big cake. It's just acrylic yarn. It's loops and threads yarn in gray, and then that's going to be the base color or the main color of the sweater, and then the striping and the color work is going to be in white. So kind of basic colors, but I wanted it to kind of go with anything. I will probably most definitely make another one with actual wool, just because I definitely want to make more wool garments. But like I said, time crunch, I wanted to make sure I had like a special sweater that I made for Rhinebeck for in the fall. So that'll work. And it's soft. I mean, it's acrylic yarn, but it is not scratchy at all. It is soft. And it was a special value pack they had going on at Michael's a year or two ago when I was home in Wisconsin visiting. Or was it before I moved? No, I think it was while we were there visiting. And it was like a one-time deal that they had them in. Like, they weren't planning on having any more of them. They were 2 huge hanks, like 2 of these in hank form in a pack, and I swear it was less than $10 for a pack. I wish I could recall how much it was, but it was like discounted. So I was like, you can't go wrong with that. Whether you use it for a blanket or, in this case, sweater quantity yarn for like $10. Yeah, I'm all over that for sure. So that is the start of that. Let me see what I'm forgetting. Yeah, that's all I have for my whips. So FOs, had a couple there, a couple whips. I do plan, as soon as I finish the second sock for my little guy, I plan on, I think, casting on for another shawl. I really like shawls. It takes a little while to finish depending on the shawl you're making, but it's a nice portable size project. So that's kind of where I'm going with for the trip to Wisconsin, because I do need to have a couple projects because it's a 12-hour drive. Granted, I will probably be driving part of it, but still, it's nice to keep my hands busy knitting something. So I think it's the Raina shawl. I don't know offhand who it's by, but in any case, the next episode I'll have it on there, or check my Instagram. If I cast on, I'll probably post it on there. But that's kind of what I'm thinking of, is bringing a new shawl and maybe the sweater. I don't know. I had a list written down somewhere there. This is why I make lists, because I always forget my train of thought of where I'm going or what I was gonna say or who it's by. But that I got that piece of paper for my Wisconsin list of things to pack and whatnot, not here at the table. Which I know you guys notice I am in a different location in my house. I'm in the dining room. I opted to do it in here because little man was in the living room, so I didn't want to have it be too chaotic noisy, but then I should have known he'd be curious enough to come check it out and join me anyway. So that part's done, FOs and whips. We are gonna move into acquisitions, things that I have gotten since the last time I talked to you guys. Maybe. Zane wants his little Zane show. If you guys have not ever heard of thrift books, you guys need to check them out. I am hooked on that. Every once in a while I go into like this burst of buying a bunch of books that I've been looking for. Like I got all my Twilight and Harry Potter books from on there, and then it occurred to me like, hello, they probably have knitting books and things like that too, which they do. So I ended up getting a couple books in the past couple weeks. This one I've had my eye on for a while, Cast On Bind Off by Leslie Ann Bester. And like most of these books are less than $10. I think the most expensive one I bought was the one I'm going to show you guys next, the Fleece and Fiber Source book, because it's big, but still compared to what it is priced at for a brand new book, you can't beat the price. And you can decide on, and they're honest about the condition they're in, good, fair, poor, and some of them are like new, and you pay, you know, half the price or quarter of the price of what they are brand new. But this book is awesome. I've already started using it. I've flipped through it because sometimes it's helpful to find different cast on and bind offs instead of just your generic basics. Like for socks, for Zane's socks, I actually ended up needing to know how to do, or maybe, no, I don't think his requested a certain cast on, but I ended up going, yeah, it just said cast on 56 stitches, but I know with him being so funny about how tight things are on his leg, I wanted to make sure it was a stretchy cast on. So I did the double start cast on. Thanks, buddy. Which I can show you guys real quick. And for like an example, so it kind of tells you about it, shows you what it looks like from different points of view on it, characteristics, what it's good for, and then they're very descriptive with pictures on how to do that cast on. I mean, sure, you can look it up on YouTube and do the video, watch, you know, videos and tutorials, which I've done, you know, forever anyway, but this is nice just to have on hand instead of having to watch a YouTube video, you know, say when you're spending time, or, you know, you're watching a family movie together, but you're wanting to knit while you're doing it, and then you're not being, you know, distracting in the middle of it trying to watch a YouTube video or something, or trying to understand what they're doing, because you need sound for it then, right? So this has been super awesome to have. I'm so glad I got it. So that's the first book. And then the Fleece and Fiber Source book. because I am obsessed with all things fiber, wool. So this book is big. It's gonna glare out, whatever. But again, I mean, it's originally $35. I did not pay over $20 for this. Normally I'm kind of stingy, and I usually don't have a lot of like money just to like blow wherever I want. But this book is so neat. I mean, it tells you like where the breed originally came from, and it's got even dog and cat in here, you know, different Angora, Northern European short-tailed family, Merino, Feral group, English long wool. I mean, and they're very descriptive, and they show, you know, some of it clean, or, you know, the short versus long, some of it in knitted samples. It's so neat. Like, I spent like the whole day after I got this just flipping through it and reading different bits and pieces. It's really good. And then the last book that I got, because I just have now all of a sudden gotten on a kick of wanting to learn how to felt. I've seen just such really cool creations that I have plenty of wool, you know, maybe not necessarily in roving form, but it'd be cool to make some of these things. So this is We Felt Worlds by Amanda Carastillo. And can you seriously tell me that's not adorable? So I got this with projects in mind for my youngest, Zane, and even my daughter, because she loves these cute little things. And it's got kind of like step-by-steps on how you do the things in here. They're adorable. I mean, and even with these, you could make ornaments. I mean, once you learn your basics of how to get it, you know, to stay together by felting. Look at that cool dinosaur.
I want it.
Isn't that cool?
I want you to make it. I want you to make it.
So this will be fun to play with. And so on that same thing, for somebody that, you know, wants to try something out without spending a bunch of money, I have discovered on Wish that, I mean, you have to be careful because some stuff is a good buy and some of it's not. But for like, you know, $2 or something, it's, you know, why not just try it out? If it doesn't work, then, or you don't like it, then you're not out a whole lot of money. But I got a felting needle. It's got 3 needles in it. And I accidentally bought 2, so I have another one coming in the mail at some point. But kind of tells you how to do it. And then I don't know if this will work. It said it's for felting. But like I said, I've never done this before. I'm new to it. It's really kind of like just a styrofoam foamy pad. So, I mean, it's pretty thick, so I was hoping, you know, in that way maybe it'll last a while, maybe it won't. Please leave any felting tips below for this newbie. Just trying it out. You never know. You won't know until you try, right?
Mom, I made an apple.
You made an apple. And then these just came in the mail today. These are, I mean, these I wouldn't give to somebody, you know, for a kid because they're not safe. Like, they're not safetied in. But for something that might be just an ornament hanging up or on a shelf, these are just these tiny, they're 3mm, so it's a baggie of them, of eyes that you would just poke into once you finished. I'm pretty sure once you finish felting your project, like if it's a animal or something, then, you know, you can put these. I guess I could open it up and show one. And you would just poke them in. it's so tiny. But you get the gist, like it just pokes straight in. That's it. So I thought that would be cool to have for those kind of projects. Put that in the same baggie. And then last but not least, that's all I have for acquisitions that I bought. However, I was super lucky to win a giveaway that Brew City Yarns was having. It was for show off projects that you've made with their yarn. I had gotten a year or two, I think it was like 2-3 years ago now, a mini skein pack that they had that was themed for My Little Pony. My daughter was obsessed with My Little Pony at the time, and she.
My Little Pony.
You like My Little Pony?
I want it.
And so she really was asking for fingerless mitts because she had taken a pair of mittens that she had and took scissors to the mitts to make her own fingerless mitts. So with that yarn, I ended up making fingerless mitts, which turned out awesome. The pattern was beautiful. Off the top of my head, I can't recall what the pattern is. I might look it up and like insert it here along with the picture of my daughter wearing the mitts. And in any case, I ended up winning, you know, just by chance. Just whoever, posted, they got, jumbled up and picked a name. And I got lucky. So what I won was their Brewski Summer Yarns for June, July, and August. And so they already sent me June's. Once they posted the picture online, I was like, yes. I was so pumped that I won it. So this is the Martini Yarn Blank Full Skein Ombre in Melantini. So it's fingering weight, single knit. It's 75-25, 75% merino, 25% nylon, 460 yards, 100 grams. It is a beautiful gradient. I'm going to hold on to it till I get the other two, and because I don't know what the other two look, or no, I did see Party in the USA. I think that is their July one, because they posted a picture of it, and that is, like, I want that now. So I'm so excited. I don't know what I'm going to make yet. I don't know if I'll turn them each into shawls, or if I'm going to do socks. I'm pretty sure they don't really go together to be able to use them together in a project, but they're so freaking pretty. And they're soft. I love it. So thank you, Brew City Yarns, for amazing giveaway. I cannot wait to make something with it.
Mom, look.
I cannot wait to get July and August. I definitely need to buy more of their yarn, but
Look at this.
I am trying so hard not to buy anything because I really need to save money for Rhinebeck, because I want to be able to for sure buy, I would love to buy another, buy a sweater quantity of like some speckled yarns, because I don't have anything like that.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
I did it.
I don't think that's how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go on the hanger the other way. But like the So Faded cardigan, I think is what it's called, by Andrea Mowry. I love it. The Weekender by Andrea Mowry. I'd love to make it. I know that hers isn't shown in a speckled yarn, but I still think that would be beautiful in a speckled yarn. I just want a sweater in speckled yarn. But, to buy sweater quantity, that's just a lot for me personally. So at some point, that's why I want to definitely save up money. Like, my birthday's coming up in August. I plan on saving if I happen to get money for my birthday from family, I will most likely just pocket it and save it for Rhinebeck. Because I know I want to be able to come home with some goodies.
Mom, I want one of these.
You want one of those?
That picture right here, that squirrel.
The squirrel. And Brew City Yarns was awesome enough to include, which I was not expecting, stitch markers. And they're so pretty. which I know these will come in handy to have.
What is this, Mom? What is
Simple
this?
and dainty, pretty light pink.
What is
So,
this?
that's a foam pad to felt on it, I believe. And I know we were talking about Babydoll wool earlier that I showed you guys this sample. Because I ended up getting more, or like a few more fleeces from the same sheep, and I just wanted to take a chunk and just try washing it a couple times in hot water, soapy, and then rinse. And it came out a really nice white, but y'all, it is like got serious vegetable matter. It's got like burdocks in it, which is, oh, I don't want that over my coffee. Yuck. Oops. But I mean, like if I really tug at it, it'll like come apart. It'll be easier to brush out the dirty ends. But I mean, I soaked for a while. I think what I'm gonna do, because I've got 4, 5 fleeces now that need to be washed, and I really don't want to go piece by piece.
Can I take this out?
Hey, wait till I'm all done, and then we'll maybe check it out together, okay, kiddo? I think what I'm gonna do is try the suet fermentation method for the fleece. What I need to do is get a large tote, and it may sound really nasty, but you end up filling it with water, the bucket, and then you put the fleece in there and you leave it to basically ferment for a week or 2. I've never really done it, so don't quote me on it, but I think that's what I've read so far. And it will basically make its own soap from it fermenting. And it's gonna stink really bad. I'm glad I live out in the country, so I won't offend any neighbors. And once you pull that first fleece out, then you can, I mean, the water is gonna look nasty in there, but because it's already done fermenting, then I can put the next fleece in and do the same thing, and it'll be good to go. And I don't think it'll take as long to clean the fleece after the first official, like, suet fermentation of the first one. And then you do, of course, rinse it and all those good things, but I've seen some awesome, you know, before and after turnouts of it, and maybe that'll help get rid of more of this kind of dirt, or, you know, what's kind of crusted in there pretty good. But I mean, otherwise it's a beautiful fleece. I mean, it's all fluffy, and it turned out white and clean. I mean, it's just the tips that look really bad. Otherwise, I mean, the debris and stuff that's in the fiber is, you know, real light. All that, you know, 90% of that's gonna fall out as you process it anyway. So, fun times, guys. Projects, I always have crafty projects going on.
Mom, is it over?
Yes. That's all I have, guys. Like I said, I hope I can
See you in the next video.
do another episode, you know,
See
hopefully
you
next
in the
month.
Next video.
You know, whether it be July or August, I'm hoping to have at least 1 or 2 more for the summer. And then, you know, maybe it'll be more of a regular thing when I have quiet times at the house to be able to do this. Next episode, who knows if one of my older children decide to pop in to say hey. But they're teenagers. Hey, those are needles, kiddo. Hey, that's on. Curious ones over here. And maybe we'll have some cool felted thing that we will have made to show off on here. And that's it, guys. So until next time, have fun crafting